How's everybody doing tonight? It's Friday Night Comic Shop Talk. It is the 27th episode. It's crazy to think that this is going as extensively as it has, and it's absolutely awesome. And we already see Mr. dbudmartin is here all up in the chat. What's up, dbud? Thanks to you, sir. Your pitch, your idea has blossomed. It has flourished. It was a seed, and then it planted ever so fast. Now we had this idea of origin stories. Here we are, and I see a Liger fan in the chat too. What's up, Liger fan? How are you, sir? David Serta, what's up, dude? How are you, my man? Nice to see you here. Anyways, guys, welcome to Friday Night Comic Shop Talk. I'm going to bring on my panelists, and we're going to get the show on the road at in clobbering times.
Hey, man.
Hello.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's been a busy day, but, that's how the cookie crumbles in this world. How are you?
Oh, hanging on, brother. Just looking forward to this all week. Getting a chance to hang out with this august group and do a little comics talk, buddy.
No, thank you, as always. This is going to be another fun one, as per usual. So I'm curious to see what you have in store besides the usual suspects that we listed last week. So it's going to be nice to see whether little hidden treasures of origin stories we truly cherish. I know I've got some ones that people are going to probably be like, what? So it's going to be good. I'm glad to have you on, as always. You've been an awesome regular. Unshockingly, of course, you've been good regular. So, yeah, let's introduce our other guys. We, of course, returning, as always, another usual suspect here. He is the Ironcaster.
Hello. Hey, what's up, guys?
How are you, sir? Hello.
I'm doing great. I just... about an hour ago, I got out of seeing Dune.
You.
I will say I enjoyed it.
You got out of it, so someone tried to talk you into seeing it, and you got out of it. Wow.
Oh, I was dragging people to go see Dune.
Oh, okay. Sorry, man.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's good news. It seems to be fairly receptive, so that's good news. So good to know in the world people can enjoy a flick genuinely in 2021, 2020, whatever you want to call it. No, good to hear, Ironcaster. That's good news. We got to cherish those little moments in the world where we can enjoy such things. But we got a few other guys here, all up here. We got, of course, returning another regular here. He is the MVP.
Yes.
Oh, he boomered it.
Sorry about that, guys.
It's okay. Okay.
Always good seeing you guys. Always good to be here. Thank you again, Nick, for having me on the panel. I am really curious to see who everyone has for their top picks for origin stories. So looking forward to tonight, man, for sure.
Awesome. Always good to have the MVP on. What's up, Tehilum29 with that badass Super Sons avatar as well. And it's absolutely a pleasure to see you. And D-Bud said, Paulie just last stream out of theater. He loved Dune. Yeah, I'm noticing that little tradition of Paulie's. I may have to do that for Eternals, and it'll be funny if it's a negative one. Anyways, we're not going to dwell on that for now. We got also a return here to the panel, hailing from deep down south of the Australian lands with my terrible accent that he's going to somehow barely survive. He is Mr. Grant Gregory from Bluey.
G'day everyone, I'm super excited to be here, to talk about comic books and origins like men, there's nothing more men than talking about cartoons on pages, in my opinion, and I'm really excited to be here with these bunch of gentlemen.
Well, thank you.
And Ironcaster.
And Ironcaster, yeah. Nolan Crane says, love your background, Frankencaster. He must know the iron that is the caster. Hello, Nolan Crane, and welcome to Friday Night Comic Shop Talk.
Oh yeah, that's a lot. This one's been a lot of fun to play with. I'm always looking to find some new ones, and it sucked because I was in the middle of editing some stuff for some new stuff to throw into it, and then lost an hour's worth of work. Had to go lay down for a while and just reassess life.
Well,
You
good,
know,
word-
man. Hey, we're Geeks and Gamers caster. Is that funny? Oh,
It's almost like we planned this out.
I
Almost.
know. It's almost just very, very close. Very close. But just Joe 47 dropping in again. So good evening or late night in this case, everybody. All right. Well, you know what, guys? How's everyone's week been? I know Grant, you've been obviously, been getting around the Geeks and Gamers types of the world. How's that going on your neck of the woods on the YouTubes?
Yeah, no, it's been going really good. I've been whoring myself out in every single stream I can get my claws into.
You fucking whore.
If I'm not streaming, I'm watching. One of my favorite ones this week was actually this gentleman's MVP one he did with Drunken. That was a really cool, a really enjoyable one. It's good to see the fellowship growing, and yeah, I'm just happy to just get on there and talk stuff. I mean, we always talk about such negative things and different things, but it's finally to have something that's you can really sink our teeth into. And I have no idea what Ironcast's going to do, but I know he's going to be the most out there. I just got this weird feeling he's going to be there.
Oh, no, good, man. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. You deserve it. You know I carry conversation well. You're fun to have on panels. It's always a good time having you. So I look not forward to having you being just on here, but just seeing you pour yourself out into the masses of YouTube. Hopefully you'll get some stripper money eventually for it in return. And I see the Basco scenario. What's up, Gascar? Nice to see you all up in here in the live chat as well. MVP, what's going on in your week in the YouTube world?
Nothing much, man. Hey, like Mr. Grant Gregory said, it was a really fun time to be on Quarter Black's channel. Nick, I know you've been there. You guys talked
yes,
Primal,
sir.
And which was another excellent stream. If you guys haven't watched Nick and Quarter Black's Primal review, it was so much fun. So yeah, and go check out Mr. Grant Gregory's intros. So every time that Geeks and Gamers does like a Tuesday night live stream, that's Mr. Grant Gregory right there. So pretty cool to see him succeeding there, and seeing Clobby and Frankencaster having their own channels and stuff. So yeah, like you said, Mr. Grant Gregory, like I've this week just really been trying to catch up on videos and seeing what everyone's been producing, especially with all the news that's coming out, not just in comics but in media as well. So just been trying to catch up with everyone, making sure I get a widespread, cast a large net to get everyone in there. So
that's all you got to do, brother. Just keep spreading your net. Oh,
Well, excellent.
Spreading my net.
Clobbrin, what's going on lately in your neck of the woods on the YouTubes of the world? I know, obviously, we're on Global Geek Gang, and you're on Toxic with me this week. Thank you for that, by the way. I'm so glad you came on for that.
Thanks, buddy. Well, appreciate it. Not a whole lot. Same old. I'm trying to. I think I'm trying to figure out some topics coming up for comics. I know my buddy MVP in there, and I will be reviewing a Superman comic in the not too distant future. What happened to the Man of Tomorrow? That'll be in a couple of weeks, I hope. There.
Mm-hmm.
Now you mentioned Eternals. We've got that coming up.
We will do that. Yeah, 2 weeks from now, we will talk about that.
I'm going to be it's been like only 40 years since I've read very many of the issues, so I'm going to read all the real Kirby run, none of the other later runs. I'm about to deep dive in that, so right timing with the movie, and then I'm going to force myself to go see that thing.
Clobbrin, we're gonna do you and I. We're gonna not only take the bullet. We're gonna, like the way Nerdrotic and Doomcock did Game of Thrones. This is gonna be us for Eternals. We're going to attack this head on. And not only are we going to most likely attack it, but we're going to make sure it's in a way where we're having fun with it. Let's make that our mission, where we have fun with it so it doesn't turn into like a sob fest, but more of like a, we're gonna be clever, and we're going to have fun, and it's going to be absolutely glorious. And that is a promise, my friend. I might even take a dive into some of the comics as well, because I already admit to you, like, I've actually never read one single Eternal book, but maybe I'll actually at least read like the first 18 issues, just to at least get a decent idea. So
I'm gonna do that because it's been so long, and I think even back then I only bought a handful here and there. So I just downloaded the whole series of the Kirby run only because I have no interest in any of the other ones. They're too other.
Yeah,
it's the only one that matters, and then I'll go see this thing because I figure I owe it to Jack to go after this thing.
Oh yes, absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. My friend, I see Mr. Awesome on the chat says yo, and I see Man of War 665, neighbor of the beast, and then the Islington girl as well says, dude, oh my god. I just got
Yes.
back. I wasn't ready to. No, hey, that Islington girl. That's awesome news to hear. I'm glad. I mean, I know Volleyball and the guys are gonna be. It looks like they're gonna be going into spoiler territory, so I know when they get going, they'll be perfect. So I haven't seen Dune. I mean, I might see it. I'm not knowledgeable on the franchise, but it'd be cool to see if everyone's saying it's good. Maybe I'll consider worth watching it. That's a maybe though. We'll see. So, anyways, Mr. Kessler, what's going on this week on your part of the YouTube lands?
This weekend, I've got the Weekend Geek coming up tomorrow on Saturday. And Monday, looking to get a little spooky for the season. So I'm thinking, so we're gonna be doing a little stream over my channel talking about some Ghostbusters.
Oh, nice! I know, right, dude.
Right, now that's going to be stuck in my head all stream takes.
Yeah, sorry. Too. You just need those three notes or 4 notes. Yeah.
Yeah, it just keeps replaying. Just the intro.
So in the past couple weeks, I was doing a stream where I was grabbing some random like older movies, like, 50s, 60s stuff. And as much as I enjoy watching those, I figured, what do I actually, to kind of end out the movie streams on my channel to talk about those, why don't I end it out for the month for the holidays, if you will, with a little something that everyone loves.
I love it, Ironcaster. Well done. I'm gonna see if I could try to be around for that. That's the goal. Hopefully, a lot of opinions of female Ghostbusters. Oh, that's good news here, isn't it, girl? No, that's great news here. I'm glad to hear that the theater is performing well for that. I just got word that apparently, Friday Night Tights is going that Viva and Barnes were on Timcast tonight, so I'm gonna have to catch the replay of that. I love Viva and Barnes, so that's good news to know because those dudes are absolutely rocking. And I met Robert Barnes in Vegas during the whole big fandom meetup. He was there Saturday night. Yeah, Robert Barnes is there, so I'm like, oh hey. It's freaking Robert Barnes. So, anyways, we've chatted, we've caught up, we know what's going on in the world. The topic is at hand, and you know what? I'm going to do a bit of a lead-off hit right here. So, I'm going to talk about, well, like I said, few heroes, few villains, guys. That's how this goes. Origin stories, panel, chat. Chat, you can participate too. We're doing favorite heroes and villains of origin stories that you enjoy and why. So that's what we're going for. And blah, blah, blah. My brain just mixed up here. Yeah, let's go nuts. Be creative. If there's some character you just really love, like, hold on, this character, this is why I love this story. Just go for it, man. I'm thinking we'll just all go one by one. We'll just repeat the cycle rather than just have us all talk for like 50, 20 minutes. So we'll pick a character, we'll move on to the next person, and someone else will pick a character, move on to the next person, and so on and so forth. And I'm going to come in hot, starting with me. So one of my favorite characters, and people will be like, what? Come on, Nick. I am a big fan of Mr. One Mac Gargan, a.k.a. the Scorpion, from The Amazing Spider-Man number 20. I feel like his story is great, and I love what he could do with his suit and the power it gives him, and how the tail manipulates it to his maneuvers. And I love, of course, the biggest thing is what leads to it, like the fact that J. Jonah Jameson, as obvious, is obviously the whole big rival to Spider-Man because he's a menace. But what's more important is how he needs to have his way of, getting back at him, and says, he needs to take things to another level. He discovers a scientist, and he's like, hey, I'm going to give this guy a lot of money. Guess what, guys? That means scientists can be compromised. Subliminal message insert. And Dr. Stillwell, I think it was, on Clobberin or Deba, if you want to refresh my memory. I think it was Dr. Stillwell. Yeah, they put Matt Gargan in the suit, and he gets the power of the Scorpion, and he has the tail and everything. And Spy learns that this guy's very dangerous, and that he learns that the more he attaches himself with the suit, he becomes more aggressive in nature, like a Scorpion, to a point where he can't have a point of no return type of deal. So I love that. I love the green. I love the suit. I love how dangerous he is. I love the whole connected element of J. Jonah Jameson being responsible for creating a villain just to get back at Spider-Man, only to unironically, or ironically in this case, be saved by Spider-Man because the guy he created almost killed him. So that's where I'm going to go with Scorpion for my start. So hopefully you guys like that one. And the small time here for $3 says, "Hail, the Nick Weiser origin story must involve some radioactive beer and pizza." Oh, thank you for the $3, small time. I appreciate that. And yes, that origin story will come out sometime between now and forever. Maybe when I'm like 120, I'll finally have it all figured out. It's going to be great. And I see Ron Martin here in the chat says, "Ballways trip, I could choose some movies." Yeah, nah. You know what? Hey, it serves his ass right. That's all I'm going to say to that. And I see Jace Fox says, "Sent you a DM. I will check on that, sir." And you know what, Clobberin? Let you pick the next character. Go for it.
Okay, well, there's so many, man, and it's really tough to choose because some of them have so many great origins. But I'll throw one out there that I love that actually has two origins in a sense. That is Swamp Thing.
Ooh.
I love Alec Holland.
Nice.
He has, as you know, the classic, one of the most iconic and horror fantasy comics of the 70s. One of those critically acclaimed was Lynn Weed and Bernie Wright's Swamp Thing. And the Wes Craven film of 1982, actually, as goofy as it is the second half, the first 20 minutes actually gets the origin. It does a decent job with the origin. Let's put it like that. Alec Holland is a scientist who, is working on basically he's just working on something. Let's put it like that involves chemicals, because they've changed it a couple different times. But anyway, he gets some criminals come along. He gets the chemicals all over him. Sounds like about three other origins right there, right? And runs out into the swamp. We all know he becomes Swamp Thing. Pretty simple stuff. But still a good, very comic booky type of an origin. It was a very atmospheric, very scary horror comic at the time. And then Alan Moore comes along a little over a decade later. And again, I guess I'm spoiling one of the greatest comics ever written. The first one to put him on the map, The Anatomy Lesson. So I'm sorry to be doing that to anyone who hasn't read it.
Hey, go for it, man. That's what we're here for. Spoiler territory. Shoot for it.
Well, and they also took some of that for that lousy current TV show they just did. So anyway, this I forget the dude's name now. This rich guy who basically they capture Swamp Thing. They dissect him. They the Floronic Man, Woodrow. What's his face? The character with the Floronic Man, who was also a scientist, goes in detail to find out what Swamp Thing is. And we find out that when he went into the swamp, he was actually killed, but the serum mixed with the swamp and these very small, tiny creatures in the swamp formed around it. And basically, he is no longer Alec Holland. They're a bunch of little creatures that melted into one life form that is doing, as to quote the comic book, its level best to be Alec Holland. Later, we find out he's an elemental, of course. But when Swamp Thing is given this information in really the second issue that Moore did, because the first issue that he did was Loose Ends. This was called The Anatomy Lesson. Let's just say he's none too happy to find out that Alec Holland really is dead. And he's not Alec Holland after all. And you could call it, yes, he's revising someone else's origin. He's screwing with someone else's character. He is. But at the time, we were just flabbergasted by this thing. And that's what put Alan Moore on the map. That, he's done some work for some British comics, 2000 AD and Warrior Magazine and stuff. And then he typed a lot, apparently. And sorry. And so yeah, I would go with Swamp Thing's both of his origins. Great character.
All right,
Not
dude.
bad.
Hell yeah. Awesome.
Love it, man.
Thank you, Clobber. That
Yeah.
was well stated and well said. And you gave people maybe a little extra incentive to why they should want to check out the Swamp Thing. I see Nolan Cranier says any info on the supposed it's coming soon spawn. Well, Gunslinger hit this week. So I do know that. Maybe someone else may know more, whether it's MVP or Ironcaster or Grant or any of the other guys.
So
Yeah, I just kind of left a comment in the chat, but I'm sorry. Please go.
Oh.
Please explain it better.
All right.
So
Go ahead, Simon.
yeah, I was gonna say actually, Ironcaster. I didn't actually see the comment, but I'm sure you kind of addressed it. So it kind of plays into the variant market right now, but Diamond essentially couldn't release all of the variants because I think there are like 10 different ones, and two of them didn't get printed. And so all of the shops, all the retail shops, didn't get all of their copies. So Diamond just essentially said, "Hey, we're going to stop production right now. Whoever got their shipment, don't sell it. You guys can't sell it until this coming week. So the week of the 24th. That's when you can sell Gunslinger." Yeah,
because I have Gunslinger.
Oh, I have the regular cover of it. So maybe some stores didn't
almost
get the
we're talking
memo.
about a variant cover, but I have a copy of it.
Maybe some
excellent.
stores didn't get the
Okay.
memo.
I found
That's-
an article from comicbook.com, so I posted in the private chat.
Okay, cool. So I know that Todd did he did make a video that said this is kind of what's going on and just kind of let people know. But yeah, some shops did sell them, which was awesome. My shop here in California didn't get one, unfortunately, but I do know that there was a big variant market issue, and some shops did get them and didn't sell them, or some shops did, but you know, it all kind of depends. But that's kind of where we're at with the Gunslinger stuff. So, but that's awesome that you guys have it. I'm super stoked because you guys actually get to read the story. So,
Yeah, no, I actually still have yet to read mine, but we did get at my shop they had the original comic, the original cover, and they had some variants there. I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna say everything, but I'm just gonna let it happen, and also add into the panel. We got a nice full house here. Of course, my man, Mr. Pablo of Geek Tropology and Midnight's Edge Espanol.
Howdy how!
That never
Thank you,
gets
Pablo.
old.
Get us
Pablo
in.
there it
intro.
is.
Nice to see you here, dude.
Hey, nice being here. And today has been a crazy, crazy day. Yesterday, I went to see Dune. After watching the movie, my glasses decided, well, we have finally been used to watch something decent. We need to die. And literally, one of the glasses just fell to the ground and shattered. So
Ooh.
I had to get new glasses, try to accommodate to them because I'm
Oh, look at
seeing-
that.
So
Weird.
literally the last good thing that you saw was Dune.
Right? Well, I'm glad you're. Oh! Let's zoom in on Ironcaster. Oh!
Yes.
That's that
Ooh,
Brett
sex.
Booth cover, right?
Nice.
Yep.
Is that
Yeah.
the Brett Booth one? Yeah.
Sex. Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
yeah.
I love
There
it.
it is.
And of course, we gotta
Dude.
show you the back of that.
Oh yeah, show us your rear
Ooh.
end, please. Show us. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's really good.
Crazy good.
Who doesn't
I'm
want
so well.
Clint Eastwood and
That's
Spawn?
enough.
It's the perfect combination.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
So it looks
Love
like there
it.
might be something I actually have to add to my list of things to buy.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh no, it's got a hole in it.
It's got a
Hole in
black
space
hole.
and time.
Yeah, a hole into a black hole, or a black hole in the comic.
That's an interesting way.
We're
adding-
we're getting glimpses into another dimension.
Yeah. Into the
Yes.
So
the,
goddamn
the
good,
Spawn universe. Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
Story-wise, is it enjoyable?
I have not had a chance to sit down and read anything, like, because I've got my stack of books. I just haven't had a chance to read anything yet,
Yeah, I mean, I buy I
That
have
real life.
my list of books that I buy,
including King
and
Spawn.
soon one of them's going to go, so I need something else to buy. King Spawn, I like. Yeah, King Spawn was good.
All right. Well, we got two other guys here who are on the panel here. I will let them be the ones that introduce themselves. Jace has been on here before, but
Yeah.
go ahead, quickly introduce yourself, and we'll carry on with our subject. You and
Yeah,
Chris.
Yeah, so I am, Jace Fox. I've been here before. Joined with this good fellas, good friends, and I'm the founder of 540 Studio, and it's good to be here, man. And today I actually did bring you with me my co-host of my show, Chris.
Hello and greetings and salutations, everyone. Like you said, I'm his co-host on the Beyond show on 540 Studios, as well as his co-host on our show Tales from the Jedi Archives, where we go over stuff from the old EU prior to Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilms.
You said destruction wrong.
That's
Yeah. I should say rebranding from Lucasfilm to Kennedy Films.
Reimagination.
Reimagination.
EU was shit. Reimagination.
Yes. All right. So, anyways, Jace and Chris, I'm not sure if you guys have heard, but what we've been doing is we're discussing origin stories tonight, and basically with the origin stories, we're all just gonna kind of go around the circle, have hero or villain, picking a character each, one at a time, and we'll probably repeat the circle at least 2 times, maybe even 3. Me and Clobberin went with our characters, and well, you know what? Since we got some newbies here on the panel, I'm gonna let Chris tell us a character that has one of his favorite origin stories. So, Chris, why don't you tell us and the chat one of your favorite characters' origin stories? Who is it and why?
I think I know who it is. It's probably Rose Tico,
Too bad I don't have my little slap ready for that.
I wish you did. You put me on the spot. Thanks a lot. Well, I mean,
My pleasure.
well, I mean, I'm going to say Batman. Batman's origin story. He's someone from a wealthy background. Normally, people that are depicted that way, they're normally depicted as still greedy and self-centered and everything. But he's not like that. He actually comes from a family that tries their best to help the city that they live in. And he is fortunate. He, like we all know, we've seen it multiple times. He's unfortunate that he has his parents taken from him, and he is forced to be raised by the family butler. And normally with people that go through such tragedy they normally don't recover from that. They normally go through life and they will develop bad habits or anything like that. But he didn't let that happen to him. Instead, he sought to take his pain and to turn it into something good, into a useful tool, and take his fear and even his wealth that he gained from his parents and to turn it into a tool to fight for justice, to make sure that no children would ever lose their parents again. And to go on.
Ironcaster wants to add to that.
Oh no! I was answering the question of who doesn't love Rose Tico.
But I think the Rose Tico character was unfortunately badly written, and the actress, sadly, she got gypped.
Blame Rianne.
Yeah, Rianne and Kennedy. But I mean, Batman is Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is the secret identity.
The disguise.
Is the disguise, and everything Batman does is for the city and is for the children. Everything he does is for his city. When it comes to his villains, he tries to give his villains a way out as well. He will try and rehabilitate them. He will try and he's even in the animated series, he tries to give them jobs so that they can rejoin society and become better.
Yep. And the highest point of that is when he faces Red Hood, and Red Hood is like, "Why didn't you kill him? If I allow myself do it one time, if I go down that road, I may never stop."
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, he has, even though he kind of takes, even though he is a vigilante and he takes the law in his hand, he does, though, have a strong moral code where he says, I will not kill anyone. I will not use a gun. I will not do what they did.
Yep.
All
I mean,
right,
he
killer.
did hang a guy from a helicopter once, but that's a different story.
Yeah. Ooh. Liger fan here says, as far as favorite origin, I think I have to go with Ant-Man, Scott Lang, or Deathstroke the Terminator. Look at you, Liger fan, coming with the cool auto characters. I appreciate that, sir. That's badass. And I saw Cold Era all up in here, and of course I saw Sherry as well. Hello to the both of you. Greetings. Thank you. Good morning, good night, wherever you are. No, Chris, awesome. Thank you. I mean, obviously, Batman's a pick that I'm sure we can all agree on, but you're new here, so we'll definitely have a nice extra added bat take to it. Ironcaster, this is all you, dude. Time to show off. Show us your bits.
All right, so I wanted to try to think
Full
outside
screen,
of the what?
full screen. If he's gonna do
Show
it,
me
full screen.
what you got.
Yeah, let's get the naughty bits on there. Come on.
Right. So I want to go a little bit outside of what
There we
I
go.
expect.
Nice.
And with all the talk we had made of One Piece last week, I was thinking back to it, and one of my favorite characters in that series is Sanji, the chef of the pirate crew.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
It reminds me of me because I smoke all the time.
Fucking
And I am blonde normally, so.
It's more modern appearance, but as I mentioned, he is the chef of the crew who fights by kicking the shit out of people, because to use his hands would be to damage his most important tools as a chef, his hands.
Ooh.
So
also, he learned to fly because he didn't want to be draped.
molested.
Real story.
So as a child, he was washing dishes on a ship out to sea when it was attacked by pirates, who attacked. They're led by the pirate Red Zeph.
Ooh.
They fought, and it was in the middle of a storm, and tragically the ship was destroyed, and everyone was lost to sea except for Zeph, the pirate captain, and Sanji. The two of them had washed ashore on this little rock outpost in the middle of the ocean with nothing in sight, left to sit and wait for wait for rescue. Zeph had gone and made 2 bags. There was a big old sack of food, and Zeph gives Sanji just this little sack and tells him to go sit on the other side of the rock to watch for a ship and don't waste any energy. Stay there. You have enough food that we should be able to last for 5-6 days. Smaller sack, which the training and cooking, he was focused on trying to really make the most out of the food, because out at sea, your food is paramount. Scurvy is a huge problem there, for example. And there's this much larger sack. Unfortunately, a couple of weeks past, they are running out of food. But Zeph's sack that Sanji saw was practically full by comparison, as he's going back down to skin and bones. He's starving. There's nothing left.
Ooh, he looked terrible.
Eventually, he decides to go and attack him. He's got so much food. He can give me some instead of hogging all. Only to discover that when he attacked, that the sack of treasure had been nothing but gold. That the chef gave him, or the pirate gave him, all of the food. And with nothing else to eat, he eats his own leg.
Ooh, Bro.
Nice.
Woo. So much meat there, though. I guess it'll be full.
Because the two of them had shared this dream about, had shared these dreams of the sea and finding this mythical ocean that's said to be able to have food from fish from every ocean of the sea. This idea of we'll dream big, and that's why the pirate was willing to rescue him. Eventually, they managed to last like 50 days before a ship finally arrives. And they're kind of laughing about this, like it's ironic. We have all this gold, but we have no food. We have nowhere to spend it for food. If only there was a ship out in the ocean, a restaurant at sea that could that anyone could go to serve, that where we would turn no one away. And eventually they start this very ship, and Sanji has been indebted to him especially after such an ordeal where they starve for weeks and weeks. The man eats his own leg to just let this kid live a little longer, saves his life. It's this.
I like the animation on this, Iron Guesser. I like the animation on it. It's really cool.
Yeah. Oh, mind you, One Piece has been going for since this is from 2000. So
yeah,
this is 20 years
and it's gorgeous.
I can show you some clips later, but yeah, it was just one of the best origin stories, and I mean, think about it all week. I was like, I gotta get this out.
Yeah. No, dude. Hell yeah. I've always been curious about this story. So, and seeing the animation's really, really killer.
And now, sure enough, he's like, he won't turn away someone hungry. This man showed up to the ship with no food. He was an escaped prisoner by some Navy, and he shows up hungry. They will feed him because he understands what it's like to be in that place, to be with no food, with nothing. You're out in the middle of the ocean. We will feed you, and it's a really good origin for this character.
That's super cool, man. That's awesome.
Right?
Really, really creative and very original. So I like that a lot.
It.
Yeah.
Did I not say that Ironcaster would come up with something out of the box?
Yeah, no, he did, man. He really did.
He dropped
well done.
Yeah, he dropped a deep cut, literally a deep cut into that dude's leg as he was cutting it off. So
literally, that was well done. All right,
it was
Nolan
he
Crane.
didn't want to win.
Let's answer your question properly. Personally, I cannot answer that question. Maybe Clobbering Times could answer that. I don't know how fitting the Suicide Squad movie was fitting to the comic. So go ahead, Clobbering, if you know.
There's not a very well-defined origin. I mean, first appeared in the early 60s, 61, 62, somewhere up in there. In Detective Comics, he was a minor villain. I think he went by Mr. Polkadot at some point. But it was just a suit with these things, with his polka dots, which were inert until he took one off or whatever, and they formed various gimmicks, various weapons, and things like that. So it's really not that far removed than what in the Suicide Squad. It was definitely a suit using technology with a really silly look to it. Of course, he was a great character in that movie. Love the guy playing him. But he's never been a big Batman villain, started as a Batman villain. He's never really been. He's popped up once. I want that. He's popped up once in a while. He even popped up on Batman Brave and the Bold, the great cartoon. It's just technology.
The thing is that Polkadot Man is not even from DC.
No.
He's open domain.
Yeah.
No, he's DC. He first appeared. Bill Finger created him, Shelley Moldoff. It was for Detective Comics, one of the 300 or whatever. Wasn't it?
No, currently he's in open domain. You can actually use him.
That's the DC villain, man.
I guess we'll have to find out. I'm curious.
First appeared in Detective Comics. You can't get any more DC than that.
Unless there's two different types of polka dot men. I don't know.
And he was even called Mr. Polka Dot for a while.
Mr. Polka Dot, yeah, that's what he first appeared. I think it was either 300 or 350 he first appeared.
It was 300 probably because it was
300.
It was a bunch of different villains, 61 or 62.
It was
something
300.
like
that. Ain't that fitting? Liger fan says Mr. Polka Dot Man, David Duzmaki, and was in Dune. Agent Decibel, what's up, Agent Decibel? And then Barbie Dog here.
Ooh.
What's up, Barbie Dog? I was not a huge fan of the Suicide Squad. I felt like it was a Sean Gilligan's out on soundstage.
Oh,
You know, if that is the case, I for one, for me, a man, that's a compliment. I get for you that you're not with it. That's fine. Everyone's got their take, their opinion. I enjoyed the movie a lot, by the way, but that's fine. But I still had my issues with it. Me and Matt from Fallbo, he had a lovely little debate on it. I think the week before Vegas on it, we clashed on the cocktail lounge for like an hour or two about that movie.
No, I know that.
So-
I am
Me and Chris,
not a
we
I
went
never
out
even thought
and
about
we
Polka Dot.
watched it.
Polka Dot Man. I think I never even thought about him again after seeing him in some comic as a kid until Batman, the great show, Batman Brave and the Bold, had him pop up there on a couple of them.
Great show.
Yeah. Jason and I, we watched the Suicide Squad movie together, and neither of us were very impressed with it.
Oh, that's great.
Really, I love that movie.
it.
Hey, you can go screw
I
off
thought it
then.
See, look at that. We have mixed opinions all up in the
Yeah, we do.
panel. I love it. All right. Well, you know what?
Polkadot Man showed up in 1962, Detective Comics 300.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew it was 300 or 350.
But here now, do we know if it's public domain or not? I want to confirm public domain or not. That's I think
I
is
don't
the
see how
age-old
it could
question.
be if he. I don't see how it's possible.
Ah.
First appeared in DC Comics.
There was an issue because he was created with two people, and there was an issue over rights at one stage, but I don't know if that's been resolved.
Was he
I'm
barely-
assuming it has, obviously, but I
Yeah,
don't
he
know
was
how
basically
it
nowhere.
He appeared almost less than Tin-Eyed Man, and that's an unbelievably obscure Batman villain.
Liger fan, to answer your question, I learned of the Spot when I was a kid from a Spider-Man comic. So I personally did. I could see why you thought out the comparison, but I didn't see that when I saw Polkadot Man. I didn't think of the Spot because the Spot's powers work so differently because of the whole teleport where he jumps in the portals type of deal. So the Spot's totally his own character, and in some ways, his ability, when utilized by certain writers, is kind of a terrifying ability because that's like you could get away with some messed up things when you think about it with the Spot. Once again, it takes a creative writer to write the Spot. Because some people kind of look at it and just think, oh, it's just some cheesy villain who jumps through poles. But if you really use that power to use, he could do some really scary things. But anyways,
I mean, like they did a good job of changing up the appearance of Electro. Electro has a goofy looking. No, I'm just saying, it's like in the comics they did a good job of changing up the appearance of Electro from Spider-Man. He has this green jumpsuit with this star-shaped
that's what I
electric
love.
bolt on his face.
I love
mask.
it. Yeah,
and it's a bit goofy in a sense, but they did do a decent job of like updating his appearance in later comics to make it kind of look a little more less.
I hated Burns' version.
I was gonna say
Burns' version was terrible.
I'm of the mindset I like the original green and yellow. I like my cheesy lightning bolts on his head. For me, I like my villains. The sillier, the better. And once again, the whole concept. I mean, yes, is it outlandish? Yes, undisputedly. So, is it more unrealistic? Yes, that's exactly the way I like my comic books, with ridiculous, outlandish.
The Electro that I really enjoyed was the one in the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon that was a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed that take on it. I mean, obviously it would have been nice to have had the bolts on his head, but I liked the actor's voice of Max Dillon, and I liked how he portrayed the character. I will say that I did enjoy how he sounded. He had a good voice, and I enjoyed the set of the powers to use, but. Yeah, the only minor complaint I had, and I'll admit it's a nitpick I had in my head, is just no lightning bolts on his head. And yeah, there, my guy, dbudmartin coming in hot. Cheesy lightning bolts all the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, lightning bolts, lightning bolts, lightning bolts. We're going to get a lightning bolts chat up in here.
We were talking about the Spot, so I thought I'd grab a picture of him just for anyone who doesn't know the villain. Like one of the coolest villains for Spider-Man.
Is that Marcos Martin's art? Because it kind of looks like the guy from the Doctor Strange: The Oath. It looks kind of like Marcos
I'm
Martin.
not sure. I just Googled Spot. I just
looked
up the Spot.
Okay. All right. Well, I got Mr. Pablo of the Geek Topology. Sir,
Pablo.
I want you to speak about a character who you happen to be very fascinating with by their origin story and why.
Okay, let's begin with
Hero or villain, doesn't matter. Have your pick.
hero villain. I will start with something from manga then. You know, there's a manga called Saber Marionette J, and in it, the one of the villains is Faust. That is basically the clone of a clone of a clone of a clone of a colonizer in a planet where women are extinct. There's no longer any women, so what they do is modifying clones, basically to have working force and everything.
Mad would love that.
But to rule society, every single country carries the complete genome of a single individual. So one of the original individuals in the ship, they are the current leaders of each nation. This guy is the leader of Garland. That is basically Germany from this time last century. You know what I mean? Okay.
Mid-century German.
Maybe go into more detail so we get more clarification.
Are you talking the National Socialist Germany?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I don't want to get nervous.
Nah, dude,
Anyway.
go all in, man.
Basically, yeah, he is from that time on Germany, and his idea is there's still a woman on the ship, but the ship is obsessed with that woman, so the ship keeps her in cryostasis to itself because the ship loves him. Her is complicated. The ship is weird. It's a HAL 9000 horny, which can be fun.
Very toxic.
Oh, really toxic. So basically, his idea is create these robots called marionettes to have a consciousness, and through this consciousness, create the resemblance of a woman to seduce the ship, so it doesn't like the woman anymore, and they can rescue her and clone her and have babies. And the way to do that.
It sounds almost like a reversal of that Why the Last Man TV show / comic. Thank God that show's been canceled.
Basically, yes, but well done. You know, that why please kill it with fire.
Well, the director's like begging people, please, some other studio, take it up, please. It's got such diversity.
Oh man, seeing K-Vaughn do all that sort of stuff on Twitter.
Well,
was just like...
I can tell you what's not gonna be that much diverse: the number of episodes.
Why the last episode?
And the answer is because.
Oh man.
So this guy basically creates a full country of militaristic Germans that want to rule the world, and
Germany wanting
that
to
way
rule
they
the world.
can
That's
get
shocker.
all the resources to get this done. Meanwhile, in the version of Japan, they just create the same kind of robot saber marionettes, but horny, and that's how they actually fall in love with the hero that is Otaru, and through horniness they achieve nirvana. It's a complicated series, but yeah, is that basically Japan with American ideals fighting against Germany in a race to space to save a woman because they are horny.
Inconceivable, Pablo. I always imagine Japan's would all be just like cat girls.
Men being horny? That's unrealistic.
How dare you?
They create robots to service every single function that you may believe, exactly like you may believe. So they create woman robots that are sexy just because.
So basically, what we're doing now
Yep.
Oh, here, Tehalum29 says, why do infantile juicebox warriors want human supremacy and not accept the diverse aliens of the comic or animated or movie universe? It sounds a lot like a German-Russian dictator. Pablo, do you got an answer to that? Or
Yeah, he's basically a German dictator. But it's quite fun because then they try to redeem him and it doesn't go that well. Please read that manga, or if you can get the series, it has 2 seasons, 3 OVAs, and is amazing fun and really horny. So enjoy it.
it's really horny and fun. You hear that, guys? 2 things can be true. Pablo has spoken the gospel. Horny and fun for all.
He's spoken the truth.
Yes. All right. Anything else you want to add, Pablo, before I pass on?
No, I guess that's it.
Okay.
Who's gonna hold the funeral?
Pass on.
Oh, that's great. Barbie Dog here says, my favorite undies hero is the Sentry. Overpowered and insane. My kind of guy. He is very deeply insane. So I hear that, my friend. I hear that. Anyways. MVP, you're up next. Hero or villain, you choose. Go for it.
All right, man. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start with a villain actually tonight.
Ooh.
And let's see. Let me go ahead and see if I can share my screen with you.
Yeah. Share away, my friend.
Let's see. Now we're talking.
Ah, yes.
Atrocitus.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
The mighty Atrocitus.
Oh.
So this is great because not only is it just his origin story, but it's the origin of the Red Lantern Corps. So I think it kind of it's like a double feature, I guess, if you will. But Atrocitus is great because it's not like really the Red Lantern Corps isn't just about anger. It's about like rage. And I think rage and anger are totally different. Rage is like a very pure, driven emotion. Whereas like anger, you can be angry every time now and then, but rage really consumes you. And I think that's why Atrocitus is just so frightening and so like powerful, you know.
I also have Yoda speaking in the back of my mind.
Yeah, right. And so yeah, I just think his origin specifically is pretty interesting because, and I wrote down some notes because it's kind of all over the place, but the Guardians of Oa, who actually created the Green Lantern Corps, also created what were called the Guardians at the very beginning before the Green Lantern Corps. But the Manhunters that came before the Green Lantern Corps that the Guardians created, the Manhunters wiped out planet or space sector 666, which is where Atrocitus comes from. And at the time, Atrocitus was just a philosopher. He had a family, he had a wife and a kid. And when these Manhunters decided to take over and destroy the entire planet, Atrocitus's family was taken with those Manhunters and were killed, essentially. Atrocitus was the only one left on the planet who survived. And so he used his rage and the blood of the sacrifices that were there on that planet to create from nothing, just from pure rage, his Red Lantern Corps. So yeah, man, it's an incredible story of just what something like that can do. It's kind of almost like a Punisher story where Frank Castle has his family, pass away and he just consumes this new identity. So
you're saying that if if DC and Marvel crossed, the Punisher would become a Red Lantern?
No, the Hulk would.
No, that would be the Hulk.
Yeah, the Hulk would become a Red Lantern. I think Punisher might be. I don't know if his rage is under control though. That's the only thing. So I think
I'd give him the Indigo.
he is one of the more compassionate gentlemen in the universe. So is that a Sentry?
I will say that I really loved the Green Lantern animated TV series that sadly did not go beyond the one season.
I did too.
And it did.
Show was so good. I love it.
Really good.
It did a good job of laying out a larger universe with the Green Lanterns, with the Manhunters, with the Red Lanterns, with the Blue Lanterns, and all that stuff. It did a great job of laying it all out.
Some of my favorite episodes were with the Blue Lanterns. You know, you have Ganthet and you have Appa Aliapsa or something like that. I forget his name, but yeah, you have this kind of stoic monk-like Blue Lantern Corps.
Saint
So,
John,
Yes,
wasn't it?
yes,
Saint Walker.
Saint
Thank
Walker,
you, Saint
yeah,
Walker.
thank you.
Yeah, that was great.
And yeah, like Blue Lantern Corps is tops for sure. I think for villains, Red Lantern Corps take it. I would put them, you know, like the Yellow Lantern Corps obviously stems off of fear, but just the sheer willpower that comes from rage, I feel like can be so powerful that if it's focused, it can be very, very dangerous. And Atrocitus, in my opinion, is one of those villains who can hone that rage and allow his Red Lantern Corps to hone it as well and focus it in on one you know, entity or whatnot. Kind of a cool
Right.
yeah, well, kind of a cool backstory as well is that Abin Sur, and we found this out later in Jeff Johns' story in the Sinestro Corps War. I believe that was where it first came about. But Abin Sur, another origin story, one of the reasons why Abin Sur fell to Earth in his space vessel was because he had Atrocitus on board as a prisoner. And Atrocitus broke out and actually killed or, you know, pummeled Abin Sur to escape, and that's how we get, you know, Hal Jordan Green Lantern.
And that was originally derived from an Alan Moore story from the 80s.
Oh, was it really? Okay.
Cool. In the Green Lantern Corps, a backup called Tigers, which was explained why the question that burned for so long, not to interrupt you, man, I'm sorry, of why was Abin Sur in a spaceship? That's what that question answered. Then John's tacked that onto it with Atrocitus. So
nice.
Well, the whole reason why Abin Sur was on a spaceship was because he was being chased by a big yellow cloud.
No cloud. You had to go there with the damn cloud. Anyways, Christian Delorme.
That's a great choice.
Christian Delorme, pretend you didn't hear about clouds because MVP just totally killed it with his choice on Atrocitus.
Oh,
and absolutely catch the replay just for his take alone. And he says, working late, long day. No worries, buddy. As long as you can listen in, it is all good, my man. This has been a great conversation, almost 58 minutes into here. Talk about favorite heroes and villain origin stories. MVP, well done, well said. I absolutely love that. You have a great take on there. Wow.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah.
I like the
Damn,
awesome.
man.
I like the awesome one's comment.
Well done.
Also, fart cloud.
So, for anyone who hasn't read it, that Jeff Johns run of Green Lantern is well worth the read. So that is a solid recommendation you take out of today's stream.
Sinestro Corps War is really great.
So good. Love
that was where I started reading comics, actually. Well, where I started collecting was in the build up to Blackest Night. So I got to go pick up Sinestro Corps Wars issues on back.
D bud. Oh god, that can be young. Oh, you guys are killing me. I love it. Chat's killing it.
The fart cloud, it all makes sense now. The reason why it's yellow is because the Abin Sur was afraid of the fart cloud that he produced himself.
Oh God, Chris.
I really hope that Galactus isn't a purple fart cloud. And
God,
Mama was basically a red one.
My mind goes blind on that movie after I saw the giant Hot Wheels cast by the. Why?
All right.
Why?
Mr. Jace, why don't you tell us about a hero or villain of your choice of who's your origin story that you love and why?
Well, it has to be The Crow from the movie itself with Eric Draven.
Great movie.
That is one of my favorite movies, and I have a lot of connection to that movie since I also know Memnock, who knew Ted Wong, who was Bruce Lee's one of Bruce Lee's best students and friends, and so I have like a big connection with that movie, and I like the whole story, because Eric and his wife, or soon to be wife, who was supposed to be married, on Halloween, but the day before, the Devil's Night, before Halloween, you have T-Birds and the T-Birds gang with Tintin and all those people, right? Coming in, doing a lot of fucked up shit when it comes to the girl and Eric and stuff like that. And it's a really gruesome scene, like when you think about it. It's what I like with the Crow and the origin with the Crow is like the way he comes back, you have the Crow over him, and he comes back, and the whole purpose for coming back, is just for that, killing all the bad guys and get rid of them, take revenge. And I love the whole revenge story. And also what I love with the Crow is that he's not overpowered at all. He's basically just still human. Yeah, he can heal, he can, but no, he basically doesn't have any super speed in the movie. He doesn't have like super strength. He's still really vulnerable in certain things, but it just can't die. And he can like heal and stuff. And I do really love that. And I had to think who I really want to talk about, so I was really unprepared.
No, it's all good, man. We brought you on impulsively, so that falls on me for having stuff. You're worth having on, man, so it's all good.
Yeah. No, but no, it's just the whole story, with the whole revenge thing and how human he is inside, and he still shows feelings, and and that's from the comic that is so much more different in certain things. But I'm sad I've never read the comic, and I'm actually gonna buy the comic and stuff like that.
Awesome. Seriously, I'm actually curious about this.
The art is phenomenal.
They have changed a lot from the movies and the comic. But I know a lot of people said that the movie did better than the comics with the story.
Wow.
And
also as a personal thing, a little personal note for myself, it's like the character in the comic originally, as well as the film, come from Michigan.
Yeah.
So I get a little bit of
Cool story,
and
bro.
also what I do like is that when the Crow Eric goes around trying to find all the killers, what I like is that he's basically trying to force them to answer for their crimes, for what they've done, not to just them, but to all the people that have been killed, and all the shit that T-Bird and Tintin has done, and all the powers that the Crow have. He also can implant memories that he has to others. Brandon Lee, rest in peace, man.
Yeah, right. Seriously. R.I.P. the great Brandon Lee. For real. Oh, that's a nice figure. Oh, man.
It really is.
Woo!
What a legend.
Spoken, right? For real. I love this movie. Seriously. I love this movie.
Yeah.
True,
There
the
is
music
no
is true. That's
sequels.
crazy
Every
to think
sequel that exists, there are no sequels.
No, there is no sequel. I'm with you there.
No TV show.
Come on,
no,
Eddie
no,
Furlong
no.
got a
TV
zero
show was
on Metacritic.
No.
Kinda fun.
But also what I do really like is that after he finds everyone, he does end it all. He also at some point he loses his powers. So at the end you have this beautiful, amazing fight that it is so well done, that whole fight and how it ends. And I'm really bad at explaining because I'm on the spot, but
luckily we'll be able to delve into some more detail with this one next weekend, because you and I are going to be talking about The Crow Saturday.
Yeah, we are.
I remember, Jace, I think they captured the crow that was his familiar or something like that and killed it. Tried to kill it, at least.
Yeah, in the movie, they do try to kill the crow in the movie. I think they actually hurt the crow in the movie.
Well, they temporarily killed it, but somehow it still came back to life. And with his resurrecting, the crow was also resurrected. Or saved or something.
How it was in the movie, he gave up a lot of his life energy to the crow to keep the crow alive. That's why he got much more weaker as well. And with the comics, he was much more of a Punisher type. He was not just going after revenge. He was as he said, he was trying to make them essentially like a repent for anything and any sort of crumbs. Where the movie focused purely simply on his story, and it was a much better way to do that for the film. But yeah, with the comics, he's much more. It's not as focused purely and simply on his revenge.
Well, they did do a little bit of that repentance thing with the one girl's mother, where he told her to go home, take care of your child.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
puts the drugs.
yeah, I do really like that he
yeah.
has the power to like heal others in that kind of sort. I do really like that, and that's
Yeah,
such
I
a
mean, and
beautiful
that
scene.
line was it? God is the name. Mother is the name of God on the lips of all children.
Yeah,
I love that line.
What would be a really great, what it would be a really cool story to tie in with the Crow is to have a Latino Crow and have it revolve Dia de los Muertos.
Well, I mean, it makes sense, especially.
Well, kind of
the day
one
before,
of
so-
the kind of one of the last sequels that we don't talk about. They are kind of based a little bit more on.
Was that the
expected
Edward
from-
Furlong one?
They gave a slight bit of a nod to it, but they didn't actually really dive and delve into it.
No, but either way, The Crow is just one of the best movies. It's one of the best stories that I've seen. It's the same that what I say all the time is that even how much I love DC and Marvel and all that, but fuck all that. The Crow is the best, no matter what. The Crow is on the top list for me, and that's just how it is.
Oh, hey, dude, if that's how you feel. That's how you feel, Jace.
It's always been like that, and no, it's just fuck. I hate to be on the spot.
That's what we do here, man. This is the public square over here on the Comic Shop Talk. But yeah, dude, no, hell of a great input. I'm glad you had that as a choice, man. Thank you. Absolutely freaking awesome.
And I do have the toy. I actually ordered a toy for my birthday.
Ooh, you ought to show that off when you get it, man.
Yeah.
I do have it. It's just I don't have a camera.
Oh, now you gotta fix that so you can get a camera. All right.
Yeah.
Before we get on to Mr. Grant Gregory here, Awesome One had to peace out and go to bed. So take care, Awesome One. Thank you for your hangout and your contributions. Shout out to Ruben Christopher Haynes as well. What's up? And Anonymous just sent me some sweet money. I think I know who that was. Come in for $2. Says, for a shot of something, I'll be joining you in 40 minutes. Great stream, guys. And thank you. I'm pretty sure I know who you are, but I'm not going to say anything out of respect. But thank you, sir. I appreciate you. And we are having fun as well. So thank you for hanging out and listening. So absolutely awesome. All right, Mr. Grant Greggy, you have waited ever so patiently. We're not only because you waited so patiently, you're going to be the one exceptional guy who gets to do two characters.
All right. Well, the first character I was going to do was a villain from DC who happened to be carrying a certain colored lantern, but my dear friend over there beat me to the punch. And he probably articulated it a little bit better than what I was going to do.
Dang it, I'm sorry, man. I had no idea.
Awesome. I was going to delve
Hey,
into...
there's no wrong with reusables
and
here.
robots and everything, but the one that I really do want to talk about is, I think, my favorite, most underrated and underutilized character. He's a character who originally started in Charlton and then was incorporated into DC during the Crisis on Infinite Earths event. I'm talking about a man whose face is not really all there. I'm talking about Vic Sage, the Question.
Excellent.
Good call. Good call.
And
yes!
I want to primarily focus on the 87 run by, I always get it, is it Dennis or Denny? There's two of them. There's Dennis and Denny's, and I always get them mixed up.
He's the same guy, but he used them both.
Yeah, so I mean, I always get the names mixed up. Yeah.
Art by Dennis Cowan. That's why you got confused.
Yeah. The 87 run of it, where he was an orphan growing up on the streets, and he was constantly beaten, abused, and he was constantly getting into trouble, and finally started to get his life together. And
hold on, Greg, something happened.
As I suspected, 32 flavors.
Love it, Jeffrey Combs.
All right, carry on. I had to do that.
Understandable. But yeah, so he became a journalist, and he had this deep down urge to fight and do what's right, but he didn't know the correct way about going about it. And on one of his very first outings, he gets the living shit kicked out of him. He practically almost dies. He gets thrown in. He gets thrown into the water, and then the bad guy, like Sheba, who throws him in there, brings him back out just to torment him, sort of thing. He's in the hospital. He's dejected and everything. He's still got the mindset, I'm going to come back. I'm a hero. He's hallucinating. He actually hallucinates Batman. To wake up to find Batman standing over him, berating him, saying that the only reason why you're alive is because you're lucky. You're a coward. You don't know how, and he just lays a verbal smackdown on him. And it lights this fire under his ass, where he ends up having to go overseas to a Rich Dragon, one of the best martial artists in the DC landscape. And trains and learns and becomes much more of a Zen type sort of character to not only hone his mind but hone his skills. And his transformation from where he was to where he was, he actually was able to become the hero that he needed to be, because he's very astute. He's one of the best detectives that are around. His mask that he wears traditionally was supposed to be a skin replacement, but the adhesive that they used on it was actually fatal to people with open wounds. It was a poisonous sort of thing. It's so grafted on there that you cannot remove it with anything except from a really strong alkaline base. The way in which he's been incorporated throughout the years, his 87 run, which is only small issues, is the best because it delves deep within his character. He's a highly flawed character who has this mindset that he has to do what's right. He can't let anyone be in the same situation that he was, and he lets it motivate him without it overthrowing his morality. Where traditionally in the Charlton one, he was, you've done something wrong. I'm going to beat you to a pulp, and then I'm going to turn you in. You killed someone. I'm going to beat you to a pulp, kill you.
That's such a good thing.
That's the Ditko thing, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it was great. It was to the point that Rorschach was based off him.
Oh yes. Yeah.
That is correct.
But like, I'm not a huge fan of the Montoya one because I like Vic Sage, and I thought Montoya was already a character herself. Mm-hmm. We didn't need to bring her across. So the storylines in that aren't too bad. But I think that 87 from there, and also with the animated series that he made a few cameos in, he's one of those characters that I want more. His story is so it's so widespread. I don't want to say too much because I want people to go out and read it because it's definitely worth it. The artwork is great. And he uses his biggest weapon is his mind. And it's the best part about it is because Batman is the greatest detective, but he's a better detective because that's what he does all the time. Batman's a better fighter because he does that all the time. He's a better detective because he can deduce things and he can see patterns and different things. He has I can't remember what it's called. It's the inability to see faces in objects, so he sees objects as they are. Like we'll look up at a cloud and see a face. His body and mind doesn't work that way due to the beatings that he had when he was a kid. And that's why he's one of my all-time favorite underutilized characters. And I love that origin story of just coming from nothing to building up to there's Ironcaster's ship. To building up to something that you would be happy with, and you finally made it from a kid to going, no, this isn't enough, to going out, getting your ass kicked, getting berated by your hero, and then trying to prove yourself to the point where he still doesn't even recognize you. I love that about it because it's a constant cycle of greatness.
There's a moment in the 87 round where you actually see Batman's opinion on this. And it's quite a brutal scene.
Yeah, well, he says that the only reason why you're alive is you got lucky. You don't know how precious a life is, and how dare you try and throw away your life.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just like how dare, and he's so like he's foaming at the mouth, like how dare you put your life at risk because you don't know what a life's worth. And it was the guy
brutal.
the way in which he writes Batman is his dialogue is great. And it's the classic blue suit as well. So I like that. I like that part of it as well.
Great stuff.
Yeah, great call, man.
Denny
And it looks
O'Neil
like
wrote a lot of Batman, so he wrote them well. But he wrote the question
Yeah,
wrong.
right. All right. Before we carry on with Grant Gregory's next character, I see Matthew Pounder here saying the new question omnibus looks great. Hail, Matthew Pounder.
Hey.
I also see TZ Canadian as well. Hail, Nick and panel as well, and Liger fan with Denny O'Neil and Dennis Cohen, and the Liger fan also said JLU used the question really well. I'm surprised a live action show or movie hasn't used them, especially since they can actually get away with a literally low budget. They're missing out, but that's their loss. And then Tehilum says,
JLU.
Right,
They can do
so
something
good.
like the Daredevil series for Netflix, the first 2 seasons. Something like that will be amazing with it.
It would. And
I am all for the question and the Huntress all the way.
Yep.
Right? I'm all for it. In a perfect world, of course. The question, because everyone likes a good conspiracy story, right? Who the hell does not? And Mr. Chris here would like to contribute something really quick before we have Gregory. I said Greggy.
That's all right, Nikki.
Ray Skywalker. Oh, that was a good laugh. Well done. It says, evening, guys. It repents the first 27. Oh, my God. I have to have it. Okay.
That's going to be expensive.
It is going to be, but boy, is it going to be glorious. And Cheesy said, posted me on Facebook. Multitasker you are. Awesome. Well, thank you for listening as you meme away, sir. Appreciate it. And always appreciate you listening to the channel. All right, Grant, why don't you talk about your next character?
All right, so my next character I'm going to go with is a villain, and it's essentially a two-part sort of thing with it. But the character that I'm going with is a character. This does contain spoilers for a series that is currently going on, but I'm talking about the comic book counterpart, which I don't know whether they're going to go with it. I'm talking about Black Noir. From The Boys. So
go on.
Okay, so Black Noir, for those who don't know, is he's a clone of Homelander.
Yes,
who was brought up as the failsafe. He's the character who he was trained and allowed to do one thing, to stop Homelander when he oversteps the boundaries, because Homelander was the most powerful, and he was raised without a moral compass. He's like, there is right and wrong. Unlike Homelander, who's essentially a human with powers, Black Noir was told one thing and one thing only: you stop Homelander from doing wrong. You that's your only purpose in life. Your only goal is to make sure that when he does something wrong, you're there to make sure it happens. Unlike the TV series, in the books, Homelander is actually a good guy. Homelander hasn't done any of these bad things that happened. Homelander suffers from blackouts or dizzy spells or something. They don't really go into too much detail over it. But it was Black Noir who was the one who impregnated Billy Butcher's wife and caused her death when the fetus exploded out of her stomach, which is different to the TV series.
Mm-hmm.
Black Noir's whole purpose, but the problem was because Homelander wasn't doing anything bad. Black Noir was doing stuff. He was the one that was doing all the different things. Biggest problem that Homelander had, he was just incompetent with a lot of stuff. He wasn't necessarily evil, and to the point where he believed that much, to the point where he ended up doing an attack on the White House. Homelander did an attack on the White House purely and simply because he believed, there's Gary. Yep.
Right. There's Gary. Drawn by Derek Robertson. And go ahead, keep talking. It's just funny to see. There's Nerd Rod.
He's in the warehouse one, and he's one down at the docks. Yeah, he's in two different panels. Yeah.
Yes. I have this issue.
Yeah, and his whole purpose was because Homelander wasn't doing anything wrong. He was the one that was doing it, to the point where he drove Homelander to the point of believing he was a bad guy for him to go in and kill the president and do everything. his whole purpose was he's just like, why weren't you like? I'm here to stop you. And when you realize the whole way through that Homelander was not this character, it was one of the greatest twists in the comic. And in all truth, the biggest bad guy in the entire series is actually Billy Butcher. He's the main antagonist of the entire series, which is fantastic. But Black Noir is one of those great characters because he plays a double role. He's this Batman-esque type sort of character who can just, if he wanted to, he could snap. He's also physically stronger than Homelander, but he's controllable. He's that docile and control to the point where they thought, well, we don't have to worry about him anymore. And then he realized, okay, I can start to get away with little things here, little things there, little things here, to the point where he became his own thing and did things in the name of Homelander because he has his face, he looks exactly the same build. So he could put on the suit, go out and fly and do something. And then they're like, what did you do that, Homelander? He's like, I didn't do anything. And then like, okay, you must have blacked out again. So yeah, that's why I picked that one. I love the idea of that character, and I'm pretty sure they're going in a different direction. Seeing though you actually did say he was physically black underneath the costume. But yeah, no, that's why I picked that one.
I love that, man. That
Nice.
yeah. Talk about one that
That's a good one.
that's a deep cut. Yeah, that's awesome, brother.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm glad you showed that. I did not see that one coming, man. Absolutely killer that you chose that choice, and I'm glad you got to now have your floor, and we'll go back around and have everyone else have their second characters. Grant, absolutely awesome choices across the board too. I love that you guys are really bringing it with these characters that we're not really fully expecting. So that's awesome, and we're gonna keep it going hot and strong here, and absolutely bothered. Mr. Jace, why don't you talk about your second character?
My second character, that is, of course, going to be Cade Skywalker.
That's a good character.
Because, I'm a big Star Wars fan. So, Cade Skywalker, he is, of course, a Skywalker, as you hear by the name. He's not claiming
real
to be a Skywalker.
Yep.
He's not claiming.
I'm
he's
sorry.
also
It must be your accent because I don't think that's how Rey is pronounced.
It's Mare Sue Palpatine.
So Cade Skywalker, he was a human male bounty hunter, smuggler, and a pirate, and Sith, Jedi. He's been in most things, and he's also the son of Cole Skywalker, who's also in the family of course, Skywalkers.
A direct descendant of Luke.
Yeah, I don't really know. Was there ever announced the parents of Cole?
No, there's a gap in between Ben and Cole Skywalker. So I mean, it could be that Cole is Ben's son, or it could be his grandson. We don't really know, unfortunately, because that part of the timeline was never filled in.
Yeah,
We will never know.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part. Also, Cade Skywalker, he was born the son of Cole Skywalker, a powerful member of the Jedi High Council, and Morgan Cord, an Imperial agent. Whoever his mother, left when he was just a baby. She didn't want to become close to him from an early age. Cade was, trained as a Jedi by various teachers, including that age of, I always fuck up his name, Whipped Kick. Chris, can you pronounce that fucking name? To that one Jedi fucking...
Are you talking about
the fucking name.
Yeah,
I hate being in Norwegian sometimes.
Yeah.
Those two names.
Yeah, since they were just written there, they didn't care how it was pronounced.
It's like, I don't know how to
pronounce that. with it, Krunk.
Yeah, Krunk. Do the Krunk.
Krunk.
No, so like in the early age too, like a lot of things happened. The big war and stuff like that. The thing is that how did it go again? My mind just went fucking blank. I am
Where'd you leave
sorry
off?
today. It's not a great day because I have MA, so it makes my body tired all the time. So
Were you talking about the Sith Imperial War or the Second Imperial Civil War?
when Cade has to leave, and his father sacrifices himself.
That's at the tail end of the
Yes.
Sith Imperial War, right?
Yes.
During the siege of Ossus.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Ossus is his home planet, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's also the kind of the capital of the Jedi Order, and so it had to be attacked and destroyed by the Sith and the Empire because they couldn't let a Jedi resurgence.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. My mind.
Amazing, man.
He has awesome curly hair too. How it's described, huge golden locks that go all the way around.
He does, and he also, the fun thing is that he also kind of has stretched ears in a way because he wears the rings when you have stretched ears, and that's something I used to have myself. I'm still sorry today. It's been a really stressful day, and that goddamn burn in my throat makes it really hard to talk.
You're doing good, man. You're doing good.
Yeah.
If to the people who doesn't know what MA is, it's a chronic fatigue syndrome.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, so it goes, to sleep problems, muscle and joint pain, headaches, sore and burning in throats, and a lot of stuff like that. So lately, that's been kicking in.
Oh man.
Yeah, so that's why I'm trying to stress as much as I can to go through the fucking story. But
You're doing great, man. You're doing
sorry
good
about that.
Oh, dude, you're good.
You're
Jace.
fine.
You're
You're
good.
fine.
Once again, let's be fair here. You came on here impulsively, and I'm glad you did. By the way, thank you and Chris.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. That's we're here to have fun and be a little bit simpler on this. But that's what this panel is. It's a bit simpler, and every now and then we have a moment to vent, but mostly it's about simple times on here. 9 times out of 10. So you're good, brother.
I will see. I will go through a little bit of the story. So what he did, he spent at least some of his childhood at the new Jedi Temple of Coruscant, where he explored the secrets of its foundations, and the outer city, and the young Shadow of. I don't know how to pronounce that name because I'm Norwegian, but that's not the case. Cade believed that his father was unaware of this, despite the fact that he and Shadow fell asleep at midday meal, and on Ossus, Cade became close to other Padawan, Aslin Ray. I think that's how it's, and they kissed. Blah blah blah.
Sounds alright.
Yeah.
How romantic.
No, but the story with him is it is amazing because he feels that being a Skywalker is basically cancerous. It is basically cancerous because so that's also why he becomes really addicted to death sticks because he doesn't want to be a part of the Skywalker family. He doesn't want to have these visions of Luke and
Death sticks kind of hinder one's connection to the Force.
Yeah,
so
it
the
hinders
more
the power with the Force, basically, and
the more you take, the weaker connection that you have to the Force.
Kids, don't do drugs. You lose.
Yeah, right. Don't do drugs.
The fun thing with something I just thought about now is that Cade Skywalker and Dakin, the son of Wolverine, basically has a really similar fucking story. Because both of them becomes addicted to a certain drug to not, connect with their powers basically and become more human in that kind of sort and become their own person. So they really have a lot of the same impact to try to be their own person. Kay doesn't want to be a Jedi. He hides that for many, many years. And then, he became a pirate bounty hunter, before people, find out that he has a lot of, the big fucking Force and he knows how to fucking use the Force. And So there's a lot of story that is just amazing to explore.
I mean, and yeah, like Jay said, is that being a Skywalker is a big deal. I mean, ever since Luke Skywalker turned his father back from the dark side and helped in the destruction of the Emperor and helped build the new Jedi, the new Republic, the new Jedi Order, the Galactic Alliance. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of weight to put on one's shoulders, and being a Skywalker brings that weight with you. So understandable that Cade, after witnessing basically his family being murdered and feeling that in the Force, one would want to cut off from all that. One wouldn't want to be bothered with being a Skywalker, because being a Skywalker brings that obligation of you have to go and bring balance to the Force, go and save the galaxy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and
it's part of the reason why he ended up essentially turning to the dark side towards the end.
Well, I mean,
and he also, saved, his one of his masters, right? If I don't know.
Yes.
He brought him back to life, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, because he did the dark transfer. You know, he went to the dark side to fucking save your master, and he's like, "I will not let you go, master." And he just pulls out the fucking you see the lightning all around him, and he just pulls, all this dark energy to give him.
He draws upon all of his emotions and draws upon the dark side to save his Jedi master, Wolf Sazin, and unfortunately, he makes the villain of the story, Darth Krayt, aware of his presence, because Darth Krayt, like any Sith Lord, is looking for a way to sustain his life, and that is Darth Krayt is on a hunt for Cade throughout the whole series, trying to find him and turn him to the dark side so that he could be used to prolong his life, like any Sith Lord wants. Because Darth Krayt is old. He's over 100 years old. He is a Jedi. He was a former Jedi from the old Jedi Order. His father was a Jedi and left the Jedi Order to become a member of the Tusken Raiders, and that's where he was born.
Ah, nice.
So he started out as a Tusken Raider before he was found by Ki-Adi-Mundi, and he became Ki-Adi-Mundi's apprentice. And he would become a member of the Jedi. He'd become a Jedi Knight. He made kind of a unshaky relationship with Anakin Skywalker, and after the fall of the Jedi Order, he would go back to Tatooine and become a warlord of the Tusken people, and he would unify the Tusken Raiders and try to wage a war against the outsiders, and try to wipe out all those who were invading the Dune Sea. And one of the farms that was in his way was the Lars homestead. And when he started coming across the Lars, when his band was starting to approach the Lars homestead, there was one Jedi standing in his way, Obi-Wan Kenobi. And the two of them dueled. Obi-Wan cut off his arm, unmasked him in front of the whole band of Tusken Raiders, which is heresy. He was undone. He no longer was allowed to be a Tusken Raider. He was an outsider. He was banished by Tusken society. And so he basically, Asharid Het was his name. He basically went across the galaxy trying to become stronger, trying to be a bounty hunter. And when he realized who was at the Lars homestead, when he realized that the son of Anakin Skywalker, aka Darth Vader, was at the Lars homestead, he realized what an opportunity he could have had at hurting Darth Vader, at hurting Anakin Skywalker, at hurting the person that destroyed the Jedi Order. And so he then traveled further across the galaxy until there was either two events that happened. He was captured by the Yuuzhan Vong and tortured by them for years. And he became a student with Vejer, in which they began to discuss how to how to reform a new Sith, how to reform a new Sith. And when he escaped the Sith, when he escaped the Yuzhan Vong, he discovered the change in the galaxy, and he then decided to search the galaxy for more power, for more strength, and he ended up in the Valley of the Kings, which is on Korriban, where all the old the early Sith lords were buried. And he stumbled into one of the tombs of one of the earliest Sith lords, one of the fallen Jedi that were exiled after the 100-year darkness. And he met her spirit that was bound to her tomb, and from her he created the rule of one Dark Lord to rule all of them. And that is his origin. That is how he came to be, and how he would have to put himself into temporary stasis in order to prolong his life as long as he could. And he would do this until he saw his time to rise, which was to destroy the Jedi Order during over 100 years after Luke passed away.
But yeah,
Jace, it looks like you gotta go. I'll let you plug your channel. Go ahead and plug in real quick.
Yeah, I'm still sorry that I was stressing today. My throat is killing me. I'm starting to feel like it's
honestly, dude. You don't sound like. I mean, I'm sorry that you're going through the pain. Obviously, that shit sucks. But I'm just letting you know how you sound from my ears. You sound normal, Jace. So just letting you know, you don't sound bad at all. But
okay.
If you need to go rest, I understand. So go ahead, plug in your channel real quick before you step away.
You can find me on 540 Studio. Most days I don't have this pain, so I am better to talk when I don't have this pain and I don't stress as much. But thank you for having me. It was fun. Have a great
pleasure.
show. And
yes.
On my channel we are gonna do a lot more stuff, more interviews. I'm gonna have Mike Barron on my channel.
Ooh, nice, dude! Nice. Congrats!
Excellent.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Creator of Micro.
Yeah, and I will also have Let's Have a Real Talk with Gary from Pop Culture Minefield, and also of course Ironcaster, because he's been such a good friend. If people are
he's all right.
If people are interested, I will do interviews with people so I can share them more to the fellowship and people around and stuff like that. But thank you, and hopefully I'll be better soon.
Feel better, brother.
Get some rest, dude. We'll be seeing you, okay?
Yeah,
all right. Well, our own panelist here, Mr. Gregory, comes in for 145, says, hail to the panel, talking about the things we love. It's a great stream. Brilliant choices all around, especially MVP. And as that happens, and thank you, Mr. Gregory. Appreciate that. Jace, get some rest. You do sound fine. Hail, Jace. Be well. We love you. Stay strong, bro. Be well. The Flash Rider. Cool. Awesome.
Yes, that's right.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, Jace on a bad day still sounds better than me on a good one, so.
I think I'll be leaving as well. I gotta get some things ready for bed before bed
you got
tonight.
Anything you want to add or no?
No, there's nothing to really add. So you can find me on Jace's channel on 540 Studios. So that's about it.
All right, dude, Chris. Hey, Chris. The door's always open for you, man. Yeah, right? Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
Have a good one. Brandon. All right?
Good night, guys.
Good night, Chris. Care, Thank you for hanging out.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, my pleasure. And let's go, Brandon. So, anyway. All right. I thought streams don't sleep. All right. Oh, dude. Yeah, right. All right. Anyways. So, and then there were us. Pablo, why don't you start off on a character?
Okay, so let me just share the screen. I want to.
Yeah, sure away, dude.
one of my heroes, and I will repeating something from last week, but
Yeah.
Nice.
why?
Love it. Love it.
Because basically he doesn't give a fuck.
That's true. He tells me that all the time.
You know, Rasputin tried to bring him because he wanted to have power to control everything and failed. So basically, Hellboy is stranded on Earth. And the professor takes him, kind of tries to make him something useful. And well, he kind of didn't, you know? So he's just there. He doesn't have anything else to do. He has a lot of power and he doesn't want it. For him, the Hand of Doom is basically a curse. So he just wants to be out. He just wants everything to stop and be happy. But since that doesn't happen, he basically just exists until he dies. And when he dies, he goes to hell and he's like, okay, I live here. So
nice.
It's the kind of character that you don't really expect. You normally will think this kind of character will have a lot to fight, but no. Actually, when he finally releases his reality, that when he uses his hand, the Ragnarok will start because he will release the Uber demon, that the entity that was kinda God in this reality tried to stop, and he's like, yeah, no. So he lets the witch kill him and goes to hell.
Woo!
So he's apathetic all the way. He doesn't really care about anything. Maybe in the Del Toro movies, the version that is funny and quippy and everything is charming, but lacks the sense of brutality of the comic book version. So I really like that grittiness, that sensation of every single time that he's around me, like, who cares? That's that scrappiness and everything. So I love this character. I really love this character. And I was really depressed when the new movie came out and they actually used the best part of the story, the part where he dies, and they wasted it completely. He even gets Excalibur and they didn't do shit. So yeah, that will be my first pick for heroes.
Dude, nice. I like
Great
it.
one, man.
I like
Yeah, I
it.
love it.
Right? For real.
Indeed.
Well, you know what? I think I will take the lead then next on this one. This one should come as maybe obvious, but not too obvious. There seems to be a certain doctor here who happens to be a master of the mystic arts. He is also the sorcerer supreme, and he's co-created by Stanley and one Steve Ditko, R.I.P. He also does this with his hands, not just this, but this is very important.
Not the
Yes, Doctor Strange, Stephen Strange, and it's kind of great because if you think about it, Doctor Strange, much like Iron Man, was a man who grew up with a lot of confidence to the point where he could consider it arrogance. Came from a different type of wealthy background where he was a successful surgeon. The fact that he got into a car accident that did the severity of damage to his hands, he was trying to recover his hands, and he goes to Tibet to see if he can, get some work done to try to see if he can recover them properly, and he can. He decides he's going to learn the way of the mystic arts, and you see, obviously, when he crosses paths with the Ancient One, everything changes, and he goes through this bad acid trip that somehow Steve Ditko predated bad acid trips before you can even know. Like Steve Ditko is a visionary for this. It's absolutely insane. And dude, look at that! It's funny because you look at that, oh man, that looks so wild. Like, yeah, imagine that was done back in the '60s, and people are like, what? I'm like, yeah. Steve Ditko knew about bad acid trips before the rest of you all knew about bad acid trips.
Which was really weird because he did not like hippies.
Oh, I know,
And
right?
They loved this.
Isn't
They
that
loved. He was an Ayn Randian objectivist, a big one, and he did not like hippies, and yet he made their favorite comic.
Well, I always like, he's kind of got like the Vincent Price look going on, and
Well, I grabbed that photo because Doctor Strange was partially inspired by Vincent Price.
I had a feeling it was. And D-Bud here, no, seriously, that's what I mean. Ditko did. This is why, for me, Ditko is my favorite artist. Just I see what he did with like Spider-Man and Doc Strange, and this. Oh my, especially the Strange art. That Strange art is on another level that still to this day, like I could look at it again. I could still get blown away. And again. I'm just like all those colors. I'm just like,
Yeah.
that was like
That was the psychedelic era, man. You had Ditko and you had Kirby, and it was beautiful.
right, and all the cool names. He talks about invoking Hogarth and Ashtor, Vishanti, Agamotto, and performing incantations. I'm just like, it had to get me to learn about words and definitions and what they meant, where they came from, and for me that was hold up. It got me to like realize, okay, I gotta learn what these things mean, and oh my god, just look at those colors. Look at those stars.
Nice.
So good. Oh! I think Cobbard's got something to add too.
Oh no, it's the same as you got. Go with the one you had.
Oh no! Dude! Oh no!
How
Zoom
it's
in
like
on
this.
yours, Clobby.
It's
Zoom
like
in on
neurons in the
yours.
brain. That's what I
Dude.
I don't think
about
they
it.
can
How was
actually.
able to
That's
envision
right.
that.
If you can, you can do it on. You should do it on yours.
Okay, if we could do it on Ironcast, yeah. I just seriously, Matthew Pounder here, right? Like, Ditko, the colors, tripping at
Dude,
cherry pie.
I will just tell you, this kind of
it's a
colors
master.
you can only see with natural DMT.
Oh, I know.
Trust me,
right?
it has to be natural. There's no way your brain will process to this level with something artificial. So, yeah.
Hey, Christian, bottoms up,
And in the
sir.
movie, they
Got
had a
my
lot of
whiskey. Cheers. All right, carry
In
on,
the movie, they
Clobberin.
did a lot of this too. There were so many scenes in the film, the Doctor Strange film, that were right out of Ditko that were beautiful. I mean,
Yes.
when he was in the
Yes.
in the multiverse, and it was just unbelievable. I'm watching it the whole time. The
was
first
best
time,
part.
just gobsmacked. I'm saying this is so Ditko. Good lord.
That's another
Yeah.
movie that only that is worth owning 3D TV.
Oh yeah, dude. I saw that on purpose in 3D. Like, cause most of the time I'm like, 3D is just a gimmick. But I knew in advance I had to see Doctor Strange in 3D, and boy was I satisfied with that visual experience. I was very satisfied, and I saw it opening night. And I just remember the reaction in theaters people were to seeing all this happen opening night. And for me, it tripped me up because I had seen this in the books, and just to see it translate the screen, like they really got it with this one. I was so happy to see that. Like I could just live with glee. Like, Strange was definitely one of the flicks that came out better on the other side of Phase 3. So I'm really happy to say that.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that will be one of the few that survives somehow at 4. But we'll see. And that's a conversation for another day. So
Even the ancient one was actually quite interesting. I know it was not the one from the comics. He's not possessed by Dormammu, and Doctor Strange tries to save him. The origin story. But it was interesting. It was a good take. She was powerful, but also she knew she needed to die to complete this circle, and it was kind of interesting. The issue is that no, it's so overdone that I cannot longer see the Sorcerer Supreme from Doctor Strange, the movie, without thinking it was the beginning of the MCU. But at that time, I really liked the origin.
I hear you.
My problem with the movie was I've never liked Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. He's never been the guy I see as Doctor Strange.
He was my first choice. I was sure they weren't going to pick him because he's the one I wanted to play Doctor Strange so bad.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, I was
One
sure that
second.
there was going to be some dope I didn't like. And
Oh, that's funny how that works. We got two very contrasting opinions. I remember when I heard about him, like being like a contender, and I'm like, you know what? I would like. I remember thinking because I knew about him obviously from Sherlock. I'm like, I would actually like to see that. I'm like, I have skepticisms, but I would like to see that. And Ironcaster's adding here, Aiden Gillen. You know, I'm gonna have to be that guy. I'm leaning more towards Benedict, and not just because we've already seen it happen, but it's just I just remember feeling optimistic about Benedict, and maybe you could say that was a preconceived notion. That's obviously an argument that can be made, but I just really feel like Benedict. I look at Benedict, and I feel like he has more in common with the Strange look than Aiden does. Like I can imagine a goatee on Aiden. I can. But I feel like he doesn't pull it off as well, especially since it's more like a slim pencil style goatee / mustache, and the temples as well. Like the temples fits the hairline of Benedict's better, in my opinion, than Aiden's. But that's just me.
I think he would have made a girl of the Queen, I reckon.
Also, Cumberbatch knows how to be snarky and how to be really, really annoying, and that's necessary for Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
The snark. What's up, Glitzer?
The snark is MCU though. The Doctor Strange being arrogant, that's classic Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
but
very classic.
Kind of goes with the MCU now, even though it gets a little over the top.
No, it's overused. When we saw Doctor Strange and Iron Man on the screen, I just wanted a bit more because it was sassier than a rap battle, an all-female rap battle on the Bronx. It was that level of sass.
And he was one of the highlights in Infinity War. Strange was absolutely a highlight. Like that's one of the things the Russo brothers got right. They nailed how powerful Strange is, and he was one of the few guys that was a credible threat to Thanos' mission. Like I was just like, holy crap, man! They advertised that in the like going into the promotion in Infinity War. Like you're gonna get a lot of Strange in this movie, and he's awesome, and they live up to that billing. And I'm hoping Sam Raimi can do Doctor Strange right. If we're gonna get one last great Strange outing, I'm hoping Sam Raimi is the guy to be that, because we all know he has a love for Golden Age characters, and it shows.
Okay, I will correct myself a little bit. I did see Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, but in Endgame, it was like when we got to that movie, then I could see him as the Sorcerer Supreme. It's like, okay, now I see.
You mean Infinity War?
I guess I'm a Cumberbatch then, man. I guess I am. Hey, I'll concede.
You know what's great too about
I've been a Cumberbatch since 2008. Like the first time I saw him, I was just this guy's phenomenal. And then he became Sherlock, and I'm like, this is even better.
Sherlock was a great show.
Yeah.
I just think make a better Thrawn than Doctor Strange.
What of it?
He would.
He can do Thrawn. Yeah.
He would.
Oh, he can totally do Thrawn. Totally. Yeah. I agree. That's all I want to add to Doctor Strange, and I will now let Mr. I think Pablo, you should have your second character.
He's done 2.
Oh yeah, he's done 2. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah. MVP, you do, and then we'll have Iron Castle, and then Clobberin will get to be the guy that gets to close out. So MVP.
I'll do mine super quick because I really want to see Iron Casters and Clobberin times. So mine are gonna be just more fun, and I'll share my screen here.
I love the pet event. I like the pet Avengers. I do. That's one of the few alternate takes I like. I like the pet Avengers. They're fun. They're ridiculous. I'm all about Throg.
Exactly, man. It's just a lot of fun. Throg was in one of the more recent Thor issues that came out by Marvel, and Walter Simonson, I believe, is the actual man who is I almost said transitioned, but transformed into a frog who then becomes worthy of picking up Mjolnir. It's just super, super fun, and it's really lighthearted, and Throg is he talks exactly like Thor, and I love the origin. Really simple, really fun. And then, of course, my main man, the Sentry of the Spaceways himself. But I know I already did this character last week, but I just wanted to put him up there as like an honorable mention.
No, he's worth bringing up. You know, I want to mention something about Throg. When I read his voice, I hear like a Kermit the Frog type of vibe going on. So like when he's talking to Thor, he's talking to Thor like he's Kermit. That's what I truly envision. Except with like an Asgardian Kermit.
You know the only thing that I don't like about this character?
What?
That his hammer is a splinter of Mjolnir. And Mjolnir should never have a splinter. She'll never break. So that is the only part where I'm...
I can understand the splinter because the Mjolnir should be sacred. I mean, if Beta Ray Bill can have something to call his own, Throg should absolutely as well. Especially Throg has his own fully developed personality, and he definitely is worthy of having a weapon to call an enchantment, if you will, to call his own.
Then they kept him in a bloody glass jar in Loki.
Oh, I know, right?
Don't even get me started on Loki.
Yeah, well, we're not gonna go there.
Yeah.
We'll save venting for when Eternals hits. Like I said, the mission is to go. We're gonna make that fun, but epic. Yeah, happy thoughts.
Do like five positive shows before we do a negative one.
Yeah, we try to keep it seldom on here, so that way when it happens on here, I try to feel like it's that much more effective. It's coming from a very genuine place. So, anyways, Ironcaster, this is all you, dude.
I'm waiting for this one.
Go all in. Every fiber of your being, plug it in.
You've got 4 minutes.
many people will call me the Man of Iron, but there's one more metal man, one who's more metal than I am, and he has three basic laws: obey the rules. Oh God! Obey the rules, follow the directives, and maintain. God, wow, this is bad.
I am the law.
Well, he'll also shoot you in the dick.
Your move, creep.
Nick, if you would be so kind. That's right. We're talking about the one, the only, RoboCop. Oh. How can you not love a man who the director had himself called the American Jesus?
Dude, I mean, I'm just saying, man. Like, it's excellent stuff. I mean, I love, especially that first movie. I love RoboCop. Yeah. This will, oh man, it's such a good movie.
It's a near perfect movie.
Yeah. It is in my top 5 movies because it's so hard to pick the number one. Like, I don't think I'll be able to quite do what you were able to do, Klobby, but RoboCop is definitely in that list.
It's a wonderful movie. It's I even like the second one, but the first one's the best.
Oh, right.
Great movie.
What about the Frank Miller comics?
RoboCop. You know, he did a RoboCop Terminator crossover.
Well, they also went and adapted. They also went and adapted his his scripts into a comic.
I don't have them.
No.
What?
There's no cowboy hat on. I know the difference.
Ironcaster, what happened to Lobo? I thought we were going with Lobo tonight.
No. That's something I need for space here.
Oh,
I can't do it. I can't do a Lobo bio because I'm not a big DC guy. I was always Marvel.
That's right. Yeah, but yeah, you do having Lobo flying behind you would be pretty rad. I do agree.
Like I said, I just gotta get a good picture of him on the Space Hog.
Yeah,
he's up there. But
fragging best in the galaxy. From Liger fan says we need his original look from Omega Men. I don't know about that. He looks like an 80s hair metal band member. Yeah.
Yes, he does.
The alternative was I would go with Superman
Ultra Alpha
series.
Lobo. Ultra Alpha Lobo is the only way.
I know. I'm a fan of the emo one with his hair to the side and the nipple piercing. I think that's the best.
Screw 52 had a soy boy Lobo.
Don't you?
In our comic shop, we called him Lipstick Lobo.
Ah!
'Cause he's
Anyway, back to Robocop.
He's the long.
happy thoughts.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Your move, creep.
Oh, he's 11,
Love
Judge Dredd.
Nick, why have you not done this on Toxic Tuesdays yet?
Because here's the thing. Toxic Tuesday started off as an idea of, I'm going to do this as a month, maybe 2 months, because I'm kind of sick of talking about modern pop culture every single day. And then Toxic Tuesday started off becoming that, and then evolved into, okay, maybe we'll do this for the summer. And then the summer is here we are into the fall. Now we're already planning all the way into 2022.
Wow.
Damn.
And it's Toxic Tuesday has taken on a life of its own. Whereas that's great, man. And I'm glad it's taken on the light that it has, because I'll tell you what though, because when I go on to talk about modern pop culture on other things, it kind of makes it easier to talk about because my mind is more balanced per se. And I'm more ready to talk about because it's not the only thing I'm talking about. So it is that much more refreshing. And I'm ready to talk about that. But it's just also nice to get the boys together and talk about something that we came from loving growing up. And it's great to also have a great conversation of it. We have a plan what we're doing for the month of December. You guys will all find out. So we're doing a whole December thing around a certain franchise.
I think I know what's coming.
You might be able to figure it out.
Yep.
But we have a December franchise we're tackling for the entire month of December, and that's going to be great. And I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. Toxic Tuesday's been fun. People are catching the replays, which is awesome because they absolutely don't have to. And it's awesome to know people are out there actually doing that and listening, whether it's live or on the replay. I'm just glad people do it. I'm lucky. I'm very lucky that stream turned out to be the way it has, and Matt Mardigan and Mark D of the Sea have been incredible panelists on too, as too well. Those two have been consistent and they've been fun. They've been entertaining. Like Mark with the additional like pop culture references, Matt with the comedy, and me like trying to be the host and keeping the party together. We've really made a good thing going on there with Toxic Tuesday, and may Toxic Tuesday long live Toxic Tuesday. So anyways, I'm shutting up now. I see Unknown Moss. What's up?
I just want to ask that when
it'll happen one day. It will.
And
it
of
will.
course,
To answer your question.
Let me know a little bit in advance so I can make some things happen on my end.
Yes.
Like I'm going to take some time off just to do that.
Okay. No, it will happen. Trust me. This movie will happen. It is toxic. It will happen.
All right. But yeah, no, I was kind of not sure of what to pick for great.
Dude.
They come standard. I just went to Delta City.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's only about a half hour away.
Nice.
I gotta go track down that statue.
You should.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh. Yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, there is in fact a RoboCop statue. That was like one of the first big Kickstarters that happened.
You gotta get a picture with it too.
Of course, but
yeah.
So Cabrin, you get to be the one who gets to have the pressure and close out with a character that you get to choose and be the one to end it all, and then we're gonna plug away.
Well, somebody's got to represent the old stuff, I guess. I it's just too many. I don't know how you pick from one or two or three. They're too many, but
trust me, I can always do more.
Oh, it was I guess.
Maybe we'll do a part 2 one day.
And I'm sorry I didn't come up with a villain. There are too many of those too that I would want to do. But I'm going to go with my favorite Legionnaire not named Superboy, and that's Mon-El. Not any of the modern filthy trash. Anything after the 90s is bollocks.
Yeah.
So basically, I love the character of Lar Gand, who is, of course, Daxamite, who in some of these pictures aggravate me on the side, but it's the best I can do. They have some fake stuff there. But Mon-El, of course, for those who don't know, is basically he went to visit Jor-El before the destruction of Krypton, and then the planet started to be destroyed, and he suggests he go to Earth because he couldn't get back to Daxam, and the ship took a lot longer because it hit some some screw ups and stuff. So when he lands on Earth, he was injured. He lost his memory, and so he meets Superboy. Yes, Superboy. Remember when he existed? The real one, none of this fake dribble. We're talking Silver Age here, folks.
Yes.
And, he meets Superboy, and he mistakes him for his brother. Because Monel has Largan has amnesia, so he gives him the name L because he's from the House of L, and because he landed there on a Monday. That's how he got his name, Monel. And it was a story called Superman's Brother. And of course, later we find out that even though he has the same powers as Superboy, because he's a Daxamite, lead is fatal to a Daxamite. And I don't mean like kryptonite where it hurts you integrally. Lead is fatal to them, and he's dying. And to save his life, Superboy has to stick him in the Phantom Zone, in which he stays in that ghostly state in the Phantom Zone with all those bad things for 1,000 years, before a cure to be found. And the Legionnaires, because again I'm a Legion fanatic, I guess the Legionnaires find a couple of temporary cures that help him for a while. But so he stayed in there 1,000 years, and it was just absolute horrible psychological torture for this character. And yet, what I've always loved about him is he still remained a hero. Even with that, he still stayed heroic, and he took the name Monel as his, in sort of a, tribute to Superboy, who finally saves his life, then finally got him out. Eventually, the lead poisoning kept getting worse, but Brainiac 5 finally found a solution. But Monel is also a brilliant scientist. He came out with that, element 152 or whatever it was that was used to the flight rings to give the Legionnaires their flight ring. But he's a very tortured soul. When you spend 1,000 years into the Phantom Zone, you're gonna be. But I've always
I couldn't
loved the
even
character.
imagine.
I mean, they got the similar torture on the TV show with him actually being in a relationship with Supergirl, so I can understand the torture element of it.
I was actually dumb enough to watch that show for a while, and then when I saw as soon as they bring in Monel earlier in the second season, when I saw what they did to him, I said goodbye. Oh my God!
No, I liked him initially on that series.
That was your limit.
This is pretty cool.
The actor's fine, but I'm sorry.
I didn't know much about Monel. And then when I went back and read the stuff, I'm just like, that's not Monel.
Yeah.
Totally not Monel. And all that crap about Daxam and Krypton being at war.
Being at war with each other and feuding. And
horrible. Yeah, so, there were plenty of other Legion. Yeah. A couple of the Legionnaires I wanted to do, but I just had to stick with one,
No, it's all good, man. I mean, we'll definitely do a part 2 panel of this someday. I mean, this is obviously a fun idea, and credits to dbudmartin for his unintentional pitching of it last week, because it blossomed into this panel that we have today. And I appreciate the chat for hanging around, whether it was Christian DeLorme, Matthew Pounder, or Keely Chow, Liger fan, those who stopped by, and Manowar665, Islington Girl, who was here earlier. A lot of you here in Filter, a lot of you stopped by, some hung around. Either way, I appreciate y'all. TZ Canadian, Small Time, Tehillim. I appreciate it. I may have missed a few names. I apologize. There's a lot came around, but thank you. Y'all were absolutely excellent. The chat was great. The chat was fun. The chat was interactive. We had a great panel here of guys who all had great characters to bring their best foot forward to the panel. And thank you to all my tippers as well. Made it a nice little $10 there. Scored me a slice of pizza, so I appreciate that. Thank you and thank you. And I'm going to get to the plugins, and we're going to start with Mr. Gregory. You get to plug into your channel first.
G'day everyone, I'm Mr. Grant Gregory. You can catch me at Mr. Grant Gregory. I'm also a part of the Geeks and Gamers crew, so you'll see my intros on Tuesday Night Main Event every Tuesday. And apart from that, just if you look on a stream, I'll either be in the chat or I'll be on it. Easiest way.
All right, you heard the man, Mr. Grant Gregory. Check him out. And David Serta, you have an even better night, my friend. Thank you as well for your contributions. And next week, David, if you're available, let me have you on, man. I would be glad to have you on. And D-Bud, if you ever have a set of headphones and you want to turn your camera off, I would love to hear your contributions. Just throwing that out there. If not, you're welcome to just be a listener. Whatever you feel like doing, it's cool. I just thought I'd throw that in.
What's his origin? Well, he was born.
He's got such great insights. Every time D-Bud speaks, I'm like, I want to hear this guy speak. So
he's the man.
And then Manowar665, Neighbor of the Beast, Adios Amigos. Yes, that'd be cool. Hey, dude, You got me in Discord. Let's do it for next week, okay? Next week we're gonna kind of do like an open talk, just regular hang out and chat, just shoot the shit. It's gonna be great. And now the MVP.
As always, thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure always hanging with you guys. It sounds like Klobby and I are going to be doing something in November with Superman.
Yes.
So really looking forward to that. Keep your eyes open for that. You guys can find me at MVP. If Maxfield Von Priestley is too long of a name to type out, just check out MVP Comics, and I guarantee you guys will find me. But yeah, thank you guys so much again. This weekend I'll be coming out with a video about the new price increases on the Superman Son of Kal-El issue number 2s. Because, of course, ever since the news broke, speculators are getting their hands on it. And guess what that issue went for? Almost $40 on the secondary market. And that book is worth nothing. It's literally worth $4. So I'll be doing a video on that. And it'll be really interesting to see where that goes and how people will respond to this price gouging, you know? But as always, love you guys so much. This is super fun. Always reminiscing about our heroes and our villains, and it's just an awesome time. So always a pleasure.
All right. Thank you, MVP, as always.
Absolutely.
And as always, my friend, I shall see you soon, whenever, wherever that may be, via social medias or the YouTube. Thank you, as always. And once again, your contributions are amazing. I can't wait to have you on again. And Mr. Pablo of Geek Tropology and Midnight's Edge Espanol, sir. Plug away whatever, whenever, what is you got. TZ Canadian, thank you. Pablo, to you, my friend.
Oh, well, I want to do a review of Doom. So that will be up on my channel, Geek Tropology. I found something quite interesting. The music that is not music has an effect on IMAX. You know, there's a theory about how to get high with sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a reality, and it was quite well implemented. So I'm loving what they did, but that's something that you will never see done on a house theater. You need an IMAX theater for that. So,
all right.
Yep.
Cowabunga it is, dude.
Please go watch that movie on IMAX. It's for me was amazing. So please do.
I can't watch it on the HBO Max thing.
Oh,
don't watch it on there.
The amount of
too lazy not to. Good.
What can I tell you? There's a lot of sensorial cues that you will get from the sound and from the luminescence on the screen that you will not get on home. So this really is like trying to play a PS4 game in a Game Boy.
Gotcha.
Excellent, dude. Awesome, Pablo. Hey, Pablo, thank you, my friend. I'm glad to have you on, as always.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, this is always, and I can't wait Friday night. Friday night, we're going to keep it open, comic book talk, and it's going to be great. And now on to the great, absolutely stellarly amazing Clobbering Times.
You had to be talking about MVP with that kind of event. I can't compete with that. Well, thank you for having me, buddy. As always, it's a great pleasure hanging with this august group of great gentlemen and geeks. Same thing, geeks, gentlemen. Tomorrow night, Saturday Night Star Trek, another episode of reviewing. 4 more episodes with my wonderful first officer, the extraordinary Raquel Briggs. And Monday night, the wonderful Purple Valkyrie shall be joining me. We'll be talking about, I think, in line with this season. We'll talk about some of the Marvel monster heroes, Halloween and all that good stuff. And in the not too distant future, and I don't mean next Sunday, AD, when Eternals comes up, I'm going to be doing a deep dive on. Of course, I'm going back and we're going to reread all of the only Eternals that really matter, the Kirby Eternals, and then I'm going to compare and contrast that with the film. Of course, I'll hang with you when you do it. Also for sure there, Nicholas. But
you will do it that Friday night of that weekend. I'm going
to be on with J-Man that night before you, so I'll go right from
him. Oh.
No, we'll look right from
no,
that's
perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, awesome.
Because I'm going to go see it, and I know Mark D. the C wants to review it with me, and so there'll be a lot of reviewing from those 2 days. So the show before that, and that's 2 weeks from now, I'll give an in-depth of the comic, and then I'm going to be able to tell everybody how much Kirby is in the movie, which won't be much, I'm sure.
All right. Hey, Clobbin, because you went that far, I'm gonna go read the comics as well, just so, or I'm gonna try to at least be on somewhat similar footing with you, comic book wise. Obviously, I'll be on good, notable footing MCU wise, but I'm gonna at least try to be on somewhat competent footing with you, comic book wise as well. But it's gonna be great. We're gonna make it fun because I know it could definitely get exhausting to talk about these things, but we're gonna play it out. We're gonna have a good time, and the people who listen to us, we're gonna grieve in the best way possible. And Clobbin, as always,
buddy.
Global Geek Gang, the comic shop.
Oh yeah,
talk.
that's right. Global Geek Gang too. You join us, folks. And
yeah,
MVP, we got to get you on there with us whenever you can, man. I know it's daytime. I don't know if you're busy in the daytime, but one of these days, but if you can. So, yeah.
Right. One of these days we shall. And thank you, Clobbin. I will see you soon, my friend.
Yeah,
and
buddy.
last but certainly not least at all, he is the builder of big toys. And he's a man covering the horror movies currently in the month of October. Mr. Ironcaster.
Oh, this guy. Of course, you can find me over my channel, Ironcaster, where on Monday I'm going to be talking some Ghostbusters, and Tuesday, my main show is going through, in a way similar to and inspired by Klobby, going through the original 1979 anime Mobile Suit Gundam with a good panel of hosts, including Brightest Day, Fenrir the Ice Wolf when he's able to make it, Chris, and now apparently Jace, who were on tonight, and a friend of mine, Agent Decibel, who I poked and prodded into now having his own channel.
Nice.
Excellent.
And tomorrow, to bring up one of the most immediate streams, I'll be over on T-Shirt Historians for This Week in Geek, where there's gonna be plenty to talk about from this week.
Awesome, dude. Badass. Thank you as well. Look forward to having you on again soon. And
always.
And now, last but not no. Actually, I am the very least, guys. Comic Shop Chat, you've been awesome. The panelists, you've been awesome. Once again, thank you for the tippers. Thank you for the ones who stuck around, which is a good amount of you. Thank you to the ones who stopped by. Thank you as well to my panelists, all of them, whether they stopped by or stuck around, doesn't matter. All around great contributions. This has been simply fucking awesome. Next week, Friday Night Comic Shop Talk will be just open talk, and then Toxic Tuesday will be Lethal Weapon 2. I have Yelling at Park Cars with Comics Division as well. And I've got 2 videos, 2 shorts as well coming out next week. So keep your eyes, ears, and butts open for that. It's going to be glorious. And now we are going to cue the legendary music as we go out. Have a good night, all. And as we go, na 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 na. Hey.